updates on the situation in Kenosha. The individual who got his gun apparently illegally and crossed state lines to go and brutalize people at these protests, he was caught, so that's good. Aside from that, nothing else good about this. And yesterday when we were talking about this story, I made a bunch of predictions that I was supposed to be wrong on. Like when I say that all of these right-wing commentators and politicians are gonna rush to the defense of this terrorist, of this murderer, I'm supposed to be being a hyperbolic idiot on YouTube. I'm supposed to be a biased moron who doesn't understand what politics is really about and presents a fundamentally unfair and intellectually dishonest view of the opposition. I wasn't wrong. No, they're all defending him. So we're gonna have Tucker Carlson for you in a little bit, but you can go to all of the Twitter accounts of all of their up and coming intellectual gladiators, all of them defending him. Ann Coulter wants him as her president for the sole qualification of the fact that he gunned down a few people. And she's hardly the only one. But before we get into that, I wanna start on not necessarily an optimistic note, but at least a note of understanding that made me think about a few things. So I wanna show you just a little bit of video from the Daily Show yesterday. We almost never show clips from the Daily Show, partially because I feel like they're probably gonna give our channel a strike. But this I think is very important. Trevor Noah has a great perspective on what happened, so take a look at this.
Some guy decided to drive to Kenosha with his militia buddies to protect a business, and apparently ended up shooting 3 people and killing 2. But don't worry, the business is okay. And let me tell you something. No one drives into a city with guns because they love someone else's business that much. No one has ever thought, oh, it's my solemn duty to pick up a rifle and protect that TJ Maxx. They do it because they're hoping to shoot someone. That's the only reason people like him join these gangs in the first place. And yes, I said it, a gang. Enough with this militia. This isn't the Battle of Yorktown. It's a bunch of dudes threatening people with guns.
So look, what he said about the fact that that's why they go, it's basically what we said, and I think he's 100% right. But I liked his point about the militia too, because that is a term that is thrown around. Even like our videos yesterday about this use the term militia. But what does that actually, like in the modern context, what does it actually mean? So I Googled it, and there are 3 definitions for militia. 1, a militia force that is raised from the civil population to supplement a regular army in an emergency. That's not what these are. That's what they might have been 250 years ago. That's not the function that they serve. The 3rd definition is all able-bodied civilians eligible by law for military service. That's clearly not what any of the people involved in this mean by that, which leaves just the 2nd definition. A military force that engages in rebel or terrorist activities in opposition to a regular army. Now, I'm sure for the vast majority of guys who, do militia cosplay and they go in the woods with their AR-15, they have no interest in engaging in any sort of rebel or terrorist activities or anything like that. But it certainly does seem to be the best fitting definition of what we saw in Kenosha. And at the end of the day, it is just a term that's that get together around their love of guns and then talk about how potentially the government needs to be overthrown, and they can go into places like this, like they're doing in Portland, and brutalize people with aluminum bats and fireworks, or maybe they go to Kenosha and they gun people down. How is that not a gang? I get it, they're white. Other than that, feels like that's a more fitting descriptive term than militia. This isn't the 1780s anymore. We gotta update our vernacular.
Yeah, and also it goes to when a white person does something. It's a lone wolf. It's somebody who is different than the black person or the Muslim person who might do it. There's always an excuse and an explanation of why this white person went awry. Well, that's exactly what calling this a militia does too. It sort of does the same thing as lone wolf does. This is a gang. This is and this is a murderer. That's the other side of it. This is somebody who, as Trevor Noah said, as I'm sure you have talked about, crossed state lines with an AR-15 and killed 2 people. To me, all that is a murderer. That is a stone cold killer for whatever his reasons. He wasn't protecting his own property, his own family, his own life. He was going in there and he murdered 2 people. So to me, it doesn't matter what you call a militia or gang, the guy's a murderer.
Exactly, yeah, and that seems incredibly clear. I mean, we got more details on what actually happened throughout yesterday, but that was not enough to stop what we knew was coming.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.